Hey, folks, welcome back for another session. Wanted to welcome my next guest. He's a dope MC, songwriter, producer from the West Coast. Wanted to welcome my brother, Erik Solo. How are you today?
What's up, man? I'm very good. It's very good to talk to you in
Yeah,
person or virtually, but in person because we've had a little
yeah,
bit of relationship on email, and it's really fun to meet people like this in this kind of conversational venue.
yeah, especially like just really good people. I appreciate you just being a very responsive person, very fun to collaborate with, man. So the experience was good. So my honor too as well, brother.
Likewise.
Hey, man. So, like, before we go into your story career and we talk about all those dope releases that you got going on, I like to take it back and just understand the person, where he was from, and just the origin of that. So with you, I want to talk to you real quick. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And where do you hang your hat these days?
Yeah, I was born in San Jose, California, but only lived there for a tiny little bit. Then we lived in Southern California, but I mostly grew up from the time I was pretty young in San Diego, so way down
Right.
Southern California. And in terms of, like how that kind of shaped me, Southern California suburban kind of vibe. It was a good life growing up. And when I got into to hip hop, it's a surprisingly, especially back when I was a kid, like the early 90s, it was a surprisingly vibrant city, although it's not always, I think, a city that people know for hip hop stuff. It's like
Yeah.
had a lot going on, and so a great place to be from if you're interested in music and culture back in the day.
Yeah. Are you actually from San Diego or were you on the skirts of San Diego? I only asked because I spent some time out there and got a bunch of friends. So just
Yeah,
curious if you were in San Diego
no,
proper.
no, I would San Diego proper, over by it's kind of called the college area, so near San Diego State, and
Right.
yeah, not too far from that area,
Yeah,
off the
it's a good.
eight freeway.
Yeah, it's a good time for the Aztecs, bomb ass
Yes,
Mexican
sir.
food. And you're right. Normally you wouldn't say San Diego was known for its hip hop scene, but they did have in the '90s. I don't know if you ever heard of the group Masters of the Universe. I'm pretty
Of
sure.
course, Orco
Yeah,
and them, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know it then. Yeah, so they had some good stuff coming out of San Diego too, and yourself.
No
So
doubt. And
yeah,
even before that, a very big city for Latino hip hop. I mean,
good
some
point.
pioneering
Good
cats out
point.
of San Isidro down south a little bit. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's like really a scene that is not as well known as it should be because it was
yeah,
extremely vibrant. And for a long time when I was growing up, really like the kind of dominant hip hop scene was coming out of the south part of the city,
good point.
even down towards the border and those cats.
Yeah, I mean they had San Diego had amazing DJs. You guys had amazing stations. There was a guy I used to listen to, Shamrock. He was really good,
Yeah,
and
man.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Oh man, it's wild. So yeah, yeah, you're right though. But it did have a great scene to it, and no, that's awesome to hear. And then you make your way up to the north. But I guess during that period, what was your first exposure to music? What kind of music were your parents bumping back in the day before you were introduced to rap?
Yeah, my mom was really into country music, like sort of 70s and early 80s country music, so kind of
Okay,
like the main outlaw cats. And then but my dad was actually he was very into Motown. He's from the Midwest.
okay,
When he was in high school
yeah.
and when he was in college, he used to organize and produce and promote shows. And
Oh man,
he was in like parts of Indiana. He traveled around a little bit, but like where he lived, there was some of the icons. So he has photos of him and Booker T
oh
back in the
man,
day. He booked the Jackson Five quite a lot, like at his college,
yeah,
and so he
that's dope. Michael
young
Jackson.
Jackson's yeah he so yeah, it was I don't know that I like necessarily got that particular. I mean, I love that music, both
Right.
those genres, but having parents that just were excited about music at all, it always was in the house. I think that's true for a lot of people that end up
Yeah.
taking on music as a passion. It's just like if it's around and you know that people it makes people feel good, it really does imprint on you in that way. But my dad, I think like the first I think the tangible way that that translated into my kind of like development as someone who actually made music is once I heard hip hop when I was real little. I
Yeah.
was absolutely fascinated with it. I think we're probably about the same era,
Yeah.
same age, so
Yeah. Sounds like
I'm
it.
sure you had an experience like this too, where like it was so different back then. Like any little strain of hip hop that you could find, like if it was
That's
like
that's right.
someone in a commercial on a TV show, like even just kind of acknowledging that it was a thing and they would rap, whatever, like you'd be like fixated on it. So I just remember that's how it was, like anything that I would hear. But the way that pretty early on I started making like pause tapes, which I didn't know were called that back then, but just kind of looping up stuff from my dad's record collection. He brought that out from when he was young. And so I kind of understood even at the age of like 12, 13, that like the way that these records were made is that they were kind of sourced from other stuff. And so I figured out a way to kind of rig enough stereo equipment together and like kind of make pause tapes and loop up, in these kind of very rudimentary ways. And then, we had a mic that was left over from some kind of Radio Shack purchase back in the day. And I just started making these, obviously embarrassing, but your first forays into making your own music
Yeah.
from that age.
Man, let me unpack some of the things you just mentioned. Dude, your dad was a promoter, had pictures with Booker T, Jackson 5, and were you ever around that scene at all, or you just remember them through pictures? Man, that's freaking amazing. That's some
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
history.
the only way I'd say was around that at all, because been San Diego many years later. But
Yeah.
then as an adult, like an older adult, or when I was a kid, and when he was no longer like in the game, he was like just still very, it's still to this very day, very into music, and he really got into like kind of like traditional blues music, and
Oh,
a lot of the guys and women who toured back then, and still many of them still tour now, come through. He'll just go out and see him, and he'll have stories about having
yeah.
booked them. There's a couple. There's this guy, what's his name, Mighty Mo. There's a guy from I think the Midwest, and my dad used to book a lot. He still tours around. Every time he comes around, my dad goes to see him. But yeah, when we were little, we would go to like a lot of shows like that,
That's
and
great.
and occasionally he would know someone just from from being younger and haven't had interactions with them or booked them or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, the exposure to music was good, but you're right. You brought up a good point that, it's probably a gateway to music in general, but you don't take on your parents' taste and, you kind of find your way and make music, what it's worth to you. And you're right. I do remember, when you first hear rap or just any stream of rap, you're looking for it and it's hard to find.
Yep.
So it just
It's the
makes
example
music.
that I always
Yeah.
remember. It's the example that I always remember is the show What's Happening Now. So they had
Okay.
that, kind of like second that revital or the kind of sequel show to What's Happening. There was just an episode where they had the LA Dream Team
Oh,
song, Ladies and Gentlemen. And I was like, it's like I didn't hear that on the radio. That wasn't been played on the radio. That wasn't like that. But like I heard it and I was like, what the hell is that? I love it so much. Just this little thing. And I think like they were dancing to whatever. And I just was like
yeah.
trying to seek out so little things like that. Like
Yeah.
any little strain of it, man. That's just one that always pops into my head because
Yeah.
it's kind of thing I wouldn't have heard living where I live or having access to the kind of radio or
You're
DJs that I
right.
had. But yeah,
Yeah, I was same. I think some of my early exposure included a little rap scene from this football movie called The Wildcats. I don't know.
Wildcats, dude. I knew
Yeah,
you were gonna say for
yeah,
sure. Goldie Hawn on the
that's
mic, dog.
right. Oh, and they were rapping at the end, and I was like, oh,
Yep,
I try to write down like the raps, and so that's
absolutely.
great. Yeah, I just remember I forget about the scarcity of rap when we were growing up and how hard it was to find. So
It
that's
seems
a
so
great
ridiculous now
point.
because pretty quickly it
Yeah,
became so dominant in the culture, and then now
yeah,
it's like it's obviously even
accessibility.
cliche to say that it is the culture. It just is like it's infused 30 years ago it infused everything, and now it's like just not even worth kind of bringing up the fact that it is a separate thing. It just is the culture, in so many ways. But yeah,
Oh,
back then it's hard to even imagine that there was a time where this thing kind of just started and it wasn't everywhere.
yeah, yeah. And so, wow, early exposure to music, parents like different stuff, country, blues, souls, and just pop at the time. But your sound is very diverse too, man. So as I was going through your entire catalog, I just love the diversity and just the wide spectrum of different kind of beats on it. Yeah, it
Thanks,
was
brother.
great, man. I was like, man, this is some like some movie theme music, man. It was great. So I just,
Appreciate that very
yeah, I just
much.
really enjoyed all the projects. I'm curious. So introduction to rap. Who you mentioned LA Dream Team, but was there anyone maybe you
Oh
kind of
yeah.
as the first person that you heard? Was there that first song that you remember? Hey, the first rap song I heard was MC Hammer or Do you
Right,
have
right.
that?
Man, I would say like the very first song I remember hearing was like The Message probably.
Oh,
Like but
man, that's
because yeah, very much. But
yeah.
then I think that was probably like 82, but like and I was real little then. But I remember maybe like a couple years later, this is another example of just like hearing these little strains. Like
Yeah.
this guy, I would have been like 9 in 84. This guy
Yeah.
brought to a soccer practice I had as a little kid. He had a little Walkman and they
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
a tape where he recorded off the radio "Jam
Uh,
on It" by Nucleus, and I
oh,
was like,
nucleus.
dang,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I remember that's another one. But then like I say like the first rapper like in the same sense that like that era of like rappers like where the whole thing is organized around the MC. I mean,
Yep,
L Cool J is hugely like important to me on that level. Like
definitely.
I remember kind of real. I mean, he's probably like 8, 9 years older than me, but like I
Yeah.
remember being 10 and realizing, oh, this is a kid, like
I
this is a young dude doing this, and like,
yeah.
and he's so dope. Like I remember that being a big one for me. And then Houdini was probably my other favorite rappers around that time, like Ecstasy, one of my favorite MCs of all time. Still, just his sickest voice.
Yeah. Dude, that's a great point, man. LL Cool J was still a kid, but not too far off from us. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, great names, Houdini. Hey, well, so when did you make that transition from Southern California to Northern California? Was that teenage years or
Yeah, I went to college in Santa Barbara at UC Santa Barbara, and
okay,
that was I made music all through the time I was a kid, and
okay.
in high school I put out tapes and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And as I was saying about San Diego, there was a diverse kind of there was a lot popping around that time. There was
yeah,
a lot of like punk bands, and it was one of those eras where like skaters and punk dudes and other other kinds of everyone would just get together, play shows together. A lot of kids organizing stuff. So that was very
yeah,
influential to me. And that carried over to when I got to Santa Barbara in college. And there I met, I think a lot of dudes and people generally that just kind of opened my mind to other sounds,
yeah,
other ways that you could kind of like, bring in you mentioned that the stuff that I make tends to have a lot of different influences, and I think that was really important for me. Got involved in the radio station there. We started a rap crew there. Started a record label there in Santa
yep,
Barbara. We did shows. We promoted shows. We did house parties, brought in rappers from LA all the time. Just that was, very important in sort of like the my musical development. And then after that, this is like 2000. A lot of people I knew moved to the Bay, and it was like just a lot happening up here, especially with hip hop. This the era of like Pyro and Living Legends on the
yeah,
street slanging tapes and Hobo
yeah,
Junction and those
yeah,
cats. And I was, this is like hugely like these dudes were so important to my musical taste development. So I just wanted to kind of come up here and be around that stuff. Also, this is where we would come to just do like record digging back then. We'd come up do
huh?
crate digging in the Bay
Oh
Area
yeah,
frequently because
Amoeba
that's
Rasputin
where
and all the
yeah,
spots.
all the spots. So there was and then just a lot of friends were up here. So came up here in great part because of the artistic and creative and musical climate up here, especially around independent hip hop. But yeah, also because it's a cool place to be.
Okay, so you jumped to UT Santa Barbara, but I want to jump. I want to take it back a little further, real quick. So, yeah, and again, I just I also probably want to verbalize that I don't give San Diego enough credit for sure. So yeah, as we like walk through what's going on, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on over there. So yeah, bad dope contributions. But I want to talk about just the moment that you decided you were going to try to start writing raps. You recall what the catalyst was that actually got you to pick up, a pen and some notebook paper and start writing? Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, gosh, it was so I mentioned LL. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, and that first mention of LL, I'm thinking of like his first album, like Radio. Can't Live Without My Radio. So just blew
Mhm.
my mind. Then like second album, When I'm Bad came out, that song, Bigger and Deafer. But with that,
Yeah.
the song I'm Bad, I remember I was just like, that's where I was like, something about the way that sounded and
Yeah.
my earlier kind of just realization this is, just a dude with a lot of confidence and charisma
Yeah.
doing a thing.
Yeah.
You need a lot of other stuff around him to make it. I think that was a thing. That song in particular made me want to like start writing raps. I
Yeah.
remember making little loop tapes off of that song, like making a beat specifically off the kind of boom, 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 boom on that, and then rapping on it. And then I
Yeah.
think the other piece of that is there was this little sampler called the Casio SK-1. I mean, it's not even
Right.
fair to call it a sampler. It was like a toy.
Yeah.
Had the 4 seconds of sampling time on it. Had an input, so you could kind of like you
Yeah.
could record something into it and kind of play it back at different keys and that kind of stuff. I wanted one of those so bad,
Uh-huh.
and when I got one, it was for 95 bucks. I remember it,
Oh
and
man.
and that's got to be like when I was 13, and that was when I realized I could kind of like make these rudimentary beats at home and start rapping because I had the mic, had a mixer, had a turntable, had this sampler, so I could just kind of like layer with some tape overdubbing enough to make it sound like a little bit like a beat, like put the drums here, put a piano piece here, put a little vocal sample here, whatever. And that's when I started doing. So right now I'm in the process. I have I think a lot of us have things like this. I get just like hundreds of old cassettes in a
Right.
bin in my garage. I'm starting to digitize them. And a lot of them are just things that I made when I was like 13, 14. And it's,
That is dope.
obviously tough to listen to, but interesting from the perspective of like, yeah, it's like
It's fun. Yeah.
it's fun, and it's also like it's cool to see that from an early age, like
The
that,
progression.
yeah, and then you had passion about something. And, that this is true for
Yeah.
a lot of people I know, and it
No,
sounds like you're very
that,
similar to me, like just making stuff.
yeah, that's why I really appreciated that the picture you posted of the old demo tape a couple of days ago.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it brought me back. It brought me back just thinking about same time period when we were pressing CDs and then photocopying the covers at Kinko's, and we had to
totally.
cut that stuff up. So yeah, I love seeing that picture, and I still hold on to some of my old stuff from back in the day that just is priceless. And
Yeah.
so you're right. That's right. I've learned to embrace like just the remembering of the grind from back in the day and that passion. So well said. So hey, this is the formation of the group Section 9, right? Is that
Right.
yeah?
That's right.
Good, good. And
Maybe
how many?
maybe you had something like this too. Was like,
Uh,
back in the day, you just like your group was like you and whoever you could pull in to
that's
do stuff with you, so that was the name I used, was Section 9, basically until I was about 17. And
uh-huh.
but I'd say it had like over the years, like just different friends would be involved in it, and
Right.
like we'd go to the studios and make some stuff together, and yeah, it was a fun ass time.
Yeah, so I imagine it was emceeing first before you got into beat making, and then you probably had to try to make beats out of necessity for the beats, right? So
Right,
yeah,
right.
sounds good. So, did you kind of like pursue those things too at the same time with great effort on each end, or did one have to take a back seat as you worked on the
Oh,
other?
dude, I wanted to know someone so bad who actually knew how to make real beats when I was a
Yeah, yeah,
kid.
yeah. I
Like
know what
I
you mean.
wanted to know someone so bad. I eventually did meet
Yeah.
someone later, and he
Right.
showed me a lot. This cat, Steve Vicious from San Diego, and
Okay.
he's amazing. He's still around, but he was like a dude that you would go to. He actually like had a real 4 track. He had mics and knew a little bit about how to insulate the room so that you would get the best sound,
Yeah.
in his mom's house. I mean, like, but
Right. Right.
for like a dude in high school who had stuff, he was very serious about it, and he had sick records, and he knew how to use
Yeah.
a sampler properly, all that stuff. So he's someone that I would just go over there and pay him like, you pay him like $10 an hour to
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
out and like
I
record
like
you and
that.
that kind of stuff. But he showed me enough about the way to work a sampler. I never got like until much later, like a real beat making kind of setup, but I
Yeah.
did get enough information from him that when I'd have a little bit of money, there was a music rental store where you could go and get a sampler, a hardware piece of sampling equipment, and I would hook it up to a MIDI keyboard and actually make enough beats. Like you have for 2 days, just try to make a bunch of beats and put them on tape.
Uh,
And then another dude, I mean, around that same time when I was in a senior in high school, this guy who's a legend. Johnny Juice, he was, that's sort of like one of the architects of the, Public Enemy in their prime era. He was a tour DJ. He did a lot of the scratching. It was on some of the records too, even though I think he's not fully credited on all of it. But Chuck D does say "juice on the loose." That cat.
nice.
So he was rooted in San Diego for a little bit, even though
Okay.
he's from the East Coast, obviously. And I knew a dude who knew him, and so I went over to his place 3 times. And he, in a brief time, probably like over the course of a month, I recorded a demo, maybe 2 songs with him. But he showed me a little bit, just elevate the knowledge again about how to use the equipment. And it was fundamental to me learning just like being around people who really know what they're doing when you're a kid, and then getting enough confidence to start branching out on your own with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, hey, those are some good times and definitely important to the building of your foundation, you know.
Hmm.
So and so you jump over to UC Santa Barbara, and then you mentioned your time on campus radio, KCSB.
That's
And
right.
I tell you, I'm a Santa Cruz guy, and I wish I did that. I wish I spent some time at the radio station. I had a bunch of friends who did, but maybe I just got fixated on writing raps. But I wish I was exposed to that time. So what cool cool experience. Did you actually do a show, or were you just helping
Oh
out at
yeah,
staff?
man. Yeah,
Oh
I did
man,
I did a show for 3 years, weekly
wow,
show. I mean,
that's dope.
it's a Santa Cruz is a great station too, and a lot
Yeah,
of the UCs have
KCSB.
these stations where they're like these they're community stations too. So they're not just on campus, because like some campus college radio is just really just available on campus or has really low bandwidth, so it's not able to be heard outside of the small radius of the area.
Yep.
But some of these stations, the KCSB is one that have like a 90-mile radius, so we get
Oh
all the
man.
way down to Oxnard, all the way up further up the central coast. And as a result, I mean, it was very easy to connect with people from LA, rappers that we like, have them come on and do
Yeah.
sets. They would stay with us at our place for a couple of days, hang
Oh
out.
man.
And I met like all my, some of my really best friends at that radio station. It was just like such a focal point for my life in college, was that radio station, being there with my friends, digging through the music library, bringing in
Yeah.
people to do,
That was
performances and that kind of stuff.
yeah, that's right. All the demos that would get sent to
Oh
the
yeah,
radio station too. I'm sure
absolutely, man.
you probably got a disgusting collection of records of just tapes and CDs, man. I don't know if you held on to them, but
I
I'm
held on to some, and then there's some where I'm like, I know I had it, and I'm so mad I left it, but yeah, I
yeah.
sold it or whatever. But yeah, there's so much stuff. Those tapes I mentioned digitizing right now. There's a lot of
Wow.
West Coast underground stuff in there that we would play because we were just trying to find the weirdest, coolest, newest stuff that no one else had and try to play that. And I think we kind of, that's college radio for you, but you
Yeah.
kind of become known for that, and then people really seek you out and send you stuff. So yeah, connected with a lot of the people that I know and have known over the years
Yeah.
in the kind of underground and indie hip hop world through that experience. I will say one thing that's really, I was just thinking about this the other day. A dude who had come through quite a lot back then because he's from Oxnard was Madlib, just way back, and this is like
Wow.
90 97, whatever. He'd come on the
Dude.
station, do sets. I remember just I remember seeing him in the music library, just like looking for stuff. Dude, the best thing, you see this on YouTube sometimes, or show up on Instagram as a, depending on what your algorithm is attuned to. But I vividly remember, because even back then they were like
Damn.
running the town. I mean, Loot Pack is, Madlib and
Yeah.
Loot Pack were the biggest game in the area. So there was like a local car dealership that they would be on TV with this ad. Madlib made the beat, and they were all rapping about this local car dealership. So you would just see them on TV, and they were like local celebrities because they were on this VHS shot commercial. But yeah, he come through the station. My man Subtitle, who's still a friend to this day, he come through a lot. He's from Oxnard. A
Okay.
lot of a great DJ culture in Oxnard.
Yeah.
My man DJ Havoc's from there, Beat Junkie, so he come through. So yeah, man. But yeah,
Uh,
KCSB hugely formative in terms of me connecting with other people, built a
yeah.
new hip hop group from that group of people that were all DJs there. We started a record label, all of it. So KCSB, that was the best experience for sure.
Okay, let's talk about something that's even more important is that group that you talked about forming. So talk to me about the crew members. Talk to me about, what happened eventually into the creation of Rocketship Records. Can you go into it a little bit?
Yeah, man. So the group was made up of me, my man LaFura, aka A Twice,
Yep.
my partner on the radio, DJ Lionel, my friend, my man Lionel, DJ Lion, sorry, Lionel. My roommate, Noah Quarterbar,
Yep.
and I should say the group's name was mic.edu, which in retrospect, it sounds like a real silly name. I always think about how at the time it was meant to be sort of a joke because like
Catchy.
internet was still kind of nascent in our
Yeah.
lives. And we were trying
Yeah.
to abbreviate microphone education into something that seemed a little both funny and futuristic. But the group was called mic.edu. We put out several compilation appearances, some singles. We put out a split tape with our friends, another group in Santa Barbara called Substance Abuse.
Wow.
I think I didn't mention one cat who was in the group, my man Barudi, aka Rude the instructor. So, anyways, five of us, all DJs at the radio station there, all put together this group
Fun.
together, all worked on Rocketship. which is the record label that we had with my man Jamie, aka Lil Slugger, and we all put on shows in downtown. Like I was saying before, it's like if you had a little access to things like the radio or whatever, man,
Yeah,
you could really get in touch with a lot of folks. So we brought in a lot of artists to play downtown at clubs, and we promote those shows. We'd bring them to our house to have house parties there. I remember Aloe Black and Exile came and stayed with us for a while, did some house parties.
that's great,
You met a lot of people, man. Great
man.
scene, great vibe back then.
Yeah, good time.
I know you were part of that world too, so I'm sure I know you know all about it. Just the good
Yeah,
vibes, that community that would be a part of, like just kind of like having this common vocabulary and interest with around the hip hop music.
yeah, yeah. There was a similar scene going on in Santa Cruz, California, which does it. And yeah, it's great, man. Just friends who had access to radio, people doing shows, and circles of different rappers and groups that intertwine. And yeah, it was
Those
great.
Lonely Island cats were there around that time, right?
Say that again?
Lonely Island, those cats were there around that time.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was like Top Ramen and the
Oh
Moonies.
yeah.
I don't know if you know any of those guys, but they are
No,
all
for sure.
critical to the Santa Cruz scene. But yeah, it was just a good time for music. And then San Jose, California had great people too, killing it at the same time, make abusive
Oh
and
yeah.
oh my gosh, just a lot of dope, a lot of good rap going
Legend.
on. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so you guys like worked Rocketship for a while, and what fueled the transition from Rocketship to Weapon Shape Records? Why was there a change? Did you just break off and do your solo venture, or what?
Yeah, but more or less, like
Yeah.
Rocket Ship was something we were all kind of doing collaboratively. I'd started it with my roommate at the time, Jamie.
Okay.
The other guys from mic.edu got involved with it. Our friend DJ Cheap Shot down in LA became a partner in the label.
Is it the same
We put out
cheap
about
shot? Cheap
what's
shot
that?
that's part of Styles Beyond, or a different
Yeah,
label?
same dude. Yep.
Oh wow,
Same dude.
crazy. Oh
Yep.
man.
Yeah, we put out a Styles Beyond 12-inch on that label, and yeah,
Oh,
for sure. So
oh
yeah.
man, Spies Like Us, was that the one?
Man, it was called Atomic Zen.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Okay.
Cheap Shot had his own label later called Spy Tech, and I think they put out a version of Spies Like Us. I'm pretty sure that was the way that rolled out. But he had a record label called Spy Tech. Yeah, I think just kind of like after as college was wrapping up, we were going to go our separate ways. And
Yep.
also with Weapon Shaped, I kind of wanted to start doing weirder projects. That was definitely something. I mean, I was still very much attuned to
Okay.
the little more traditional underground hip hop sound, but I got pretty excited about some groups like Shapeshifters around that
Oh,
time. So
Restiform Bodies. You guys put a lot of good
yeah, yeah,
releases
for
out.
sure. So the first record I put on a Weapon Shape, just wouldn't have really fit on Rocket Ship. It was just different. It was a yellow 7-inch with Circus did
Oh
the
wow.
art. We screen printed it on chipboard. The record actually played backwards from the label to the end of the grooves were actually cut in backwards. So like you'd set the needle at the label and it would play outwards towards the edge of the record. Like just I was trying to do weird kind of physical releases. I mean, everything was
Yeah.
a physical release back then, but yeah, just something a little bit different. And then yeah, I think the second record was some of the Anticon cats. My friend Pedestrian. It was
Yeah.
called Object Beings.
Okay.
We did Restiform.
Yep.
Uh,
That's right.
Put out my subsequent group that I had was called Meanest Man Contest. Put out some of their
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh,
some
what a
our stuff.
great.
So
Yeah. Some great work from there too, as well. Holy cow. Yeah, and
thanks,
so wow,
brother.
yeah, you put a bunch of projects out on that. And so yeah, you mentioned all these groups that you were working with. Now, was that a result of just the connections you made through the radio show, or just the same being in the same scene?
Uh, oh, this is another thing I bet you can relate to because I definitely remember seeing your name around, back in the day. It's like there was that, but it was just like this kind of like message board culture, right? Like you just,
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
meet with people on the internet, like to trade tapes or just to bullshit or like, you just talk about whatever. Cause like, you had your people around you who were attuned to this stuff and interested in it, but like you had access to this all of a sudden, this like global
Oh,
network of people that were
dude.
absolutely, fans and enthusiasts of this culture. And so
Yeah.
you make friends everywhere. So I'd say that was the other kind of thing was,
Oh, yeah. The
my,
message
my,
board. Yeah.
definitely, dude. Like through
Pop
truehiphop.com,
Infinity.
the A tag
Yep.
message board.
Underground.
Yep. Hip Hop
Yeah.
Infinity, definitely. Hip Hop
Holy cow.
Infinity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And that was great because as you mentioned, right, it was kind of the start of the internet, and so all these music downloading platforms started coming up, and your access to get all these zip files of underground hip hop all over the world, man, was almost, it seemed like limitless. But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, the
If
introduction
if
to
if
different communities, it connected different communities. Yeah, and so oh, that was
definitely,
exciting.
definitely. Yeah, one thing I did that just kind of flags for me some I wanted to go back to because access to like the kind of global
Yeah,
uh community of people. So one
right.
of the I'd say like, my kind of like my really good friend. It was a DJ KCSB, A Twice, LaFura Jackson.
Yeah.
He was in mic.edu. He definitely worked on Rocketship quite a lot with me. He was raised in Japan. He was half black, half Japanese, but he was
Oh,
raised in Japan.
crazy. Okay.
Came out to Santa Barbara, and he could rap in Japanese and in English. Very sick, dude. Very, very just, and also one of the best dudes of all time. But he also, because of the network of people and because of the language he spoke and because of understanding of Japanese culture and hip hop, he was really like helpful in getting our stuff out to Japan. Like he was
Yeah.
a guy that knew how to connect with people out there. He actually passed away very soon after we graduated. We moved up to the Bay Area. I think we are going to try to keep mic.edu going. He passed away.
Yeah.
Very, very, very unfortunate. And there's a record coming out within the next couple of weeks
Yeah.
by a label called Sanctimonious
Yep.
Records, and they're putting out the mic.edu album, like just basically all the stuff that we had out at that
Yeah.
time, sort of as a tribute to LaFura A Twice. So anyways, trying to combine a couple of different threads there, but this idea that like, you could use the internet and connections to kind of get
Yeah.
to and in front and learn from people all over the world.
That's right.
LaFuro very instrumental in that, but also just wanted to mention him, give him a little more dap for being the best guy ever and an incredible musician and artist as well.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace to your friend, and definitely key into who you are today. And yeah, it was obvious that you guys built this strong foundation together. So yeah, shout out to him. I saw that you mentioned that you talked about an EP that he got to do before he died, and so I'd love to hear that if that's still around. But
Yeah, I
more
wish it was
about,
on streaming. It's but yeah, I'll send it to you. He did that
yeah,
yeah, with a Japanese producer named DJ Dolby. Very
yeah,
dope. It's yeah, it's crazy. Like there's just like if things are sort of not on streaming, they almost feel like they don't exist in some ways. Or you got to
that's
like
right.
dig for them a little bit. And it's just like it's crazy. There's all these cool releases that I remember, all these tapes we were talking about just a minute ago, all
Yeah.
this stuff that was so like still in my brain. It's just like it's
Oh,
still rattling around in there, but it's like, dang, where is it, man? Sometimes people rip that stuff, throw it up on YouTube, whatever, and that's pretty cool. But it's like you want to exist in the canon that everyone has access to, of course.
yeah, yeah, definitely, and it just it's nostalgic and it brings back a lot of good memories. So yeah, I definitely would love to hear that. And yeah, I've learned to like embrace that old stuff over the years. As you're talking about it, you appreciate the progression that you see from when you first started to where you're at now. And so, just probably 10 years ago, I couldn't stomach hearing that stuff, but now, I've come to the point where I'm like, it's cool to hear just because you know how much it's changed, right? But
Right. You mean your own stuff?
yeah, just my stuff
Yeah.
in general. Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to, yeah, I know what you mean for sure.
yeah. Or I got this one coworker too. I like, I don't talk about it at work, but he finds out that I make music, and so he looks it up, and then he finds the stuff from like 25 years ago. I'm like, oh, you gotta listen to the new stuff. Yeah, right. So
I know.
like, oh,
Man, it's a badge of honor to have been doing it at all for 25 years. I mean, I definitely know what you mean, man. There's some, it's like, it's crazy.
well, hey man, that was great, man. Thank you for taking me down memory lane. I do want to talk a little bit about Meanest Man contest that you did with Quarterbar, and just the work that you did with Not the Ones. Can you talk a little bit about that too as well? And you,
Yeah, I mean those are two groups yeah that I've been a part of for both of those are duos. Me and my man Monster are Not the Ones. Me and my man Noah Quarterbar and Meanest Man contest. And these are just, as we get older, you want to keep making
yeah,
music with maybe different expectations. It's just like part of it's just making sure there's a creative practice going and like, you get better, just keep getting better at stuff. I feel like this like you were just implying like like you said it a different way, but it's like I feel like there's this expectation that once you kind of hit a certain age, and just give it up. Whatever. It's like I'm not trying to like at this point become a superstar and stuff. It's like this
right,
is what I do.
I like
This
it.
is what I
Yeah.
do, and I get better at it all the time. Like I'm better at it now than I was then. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I'm reaching. It's like I know this stuff's better. So anyways, we, over the last basically since that era we were just describing, been continuing to make music, and I'm always real proud of the Meanest Man stuff. I'm working on a new record with Meanest
Yeah.
Man, me and Noah. Not the ones who put out two records over the years. Still got another one in the chamber for sure. So those are
Yeah.
that's more hip hop. The Meanest Man contest stuff, I think, if you review the catalog, it's got a lot more varied sounds than just hip hop. There's definitely like a real strong hip hop bent to all of it, but some of it is like electronic pop. We had a full on kind of instrumental, just vibey album early on that's different than other stuff. So just making stuff, constantly making stuff.
Oh, that's great, man. And just before I talk about the Meanest Man contest album that I listened to, just yeah, great point, man. We're here just doing music because we love it, and we get to work with people that we want to work with now, right? And it's not that there's pressure to work with people because they're dope, but now it's you work with good people, and I've had the honor to do some music with you too. Very exciting, good, humble people that make dope music, and so yeah, I like that. I like where I'm at.
Absolutely.
That's great. Hey, so again, I appreciate the Meanest Man contest album. Everything worth mentioning. That album, 11 tracks that you dropped. Just I thought that was just some diverse display of music. I really enjoyed it, and I heard
Thank you,
electronic.
bro.
I heard yeah, good classic underground, and I could hear some of the influence I thought of just Bay Area rap too as well. And so I just me and my wife were listening to it. We're like, man, this is some good stuff, man. So opening
Thank you,
song,
bro.
Tenderloin had that kind of electronic opening to it, and then I was only kidding was like way different than the Tenderloin, but still an amazing dope song because I'm always a big fan of guitar strumming type samples, but just I love the mix of beats. What was that you that produced the entire album, or
No, on that one,
was it a mix?
I'm vocals on
Okay,
most of it,
yeah,
and my partner Quarterbar, he's the producer on almost all the MMCs, the Meanest Man stuff. So yeah, I
yeah,
do. I co-produce a lot of it, and
yeah,
I did produce a couple tracks here and there for Meanest Man contest. But he's the main producer on that stuff, and he played in some really dope indie rock bands over the years, and
yeah,
he was like I mentioned before when we were in mic.edu, we lived together. He turned me on to all kind of music, so I think and I did the same for him. So we're still like incredibly good friends, and I think the manifestation of that collaboration and that kind of influence on each other is to make music together that feels a little bit diverse and not married to any one particular genre.
yeah. I thought that was great, man, and so I felt like it could have been a movie soundtrack. It was so dope, man, and just really cool, and not the ones too. And so I just love the diversity in your music, right? So
Thank you, man.
yeah, I know probably dominantly you listen to hip hop, but I just hear like all different kind of sounds, and so is your taste like that nowadays too as well? Do you listen to different genres of music? Probably listen to what your kids are listening to because
Oh yeah, man. We
my
listen to
exposure.
you familiar with the artist Blippy? We hear a lot of him in the house.
Yeah.
He did a collab album with Elmo that's pretty fire. No, man, I still, but I'm an avid music listener, and
Yeah,
I mean, even those days when I was talking about growing up in San Diego, I think what always appealed to me about that scene, I mentioned the kind of like, there was like a straight edge punk scene, there was a skater scene, the skate music scene, obviously because it's San Diego. There was hip hop. Even back then, I remember all the shows that I would do back then. They weren't just hip hop shows. You would go to
yeah,
like
punk.
a cafe where like like it was like screaming punk bands playing,
Yeah,
and then like you'd come on. It was just like I've always appreciated that, like the music and culture, and like the kind of passion and affinity that people have for the creative
yeah,
expression that they are involved with, or that they have love for. That brings people together in this way that helps form a community. I mean, that's like this conversation you and me right now that we met through this. There's
yeah,
no reason like we having a conversation other than like we're doing music together and we're part of the same community. Like it's always been part of it. But as a result, like I've always really appreciated uh becoming as familiar as possible with like a wide multitude of types of sounds. That's true with college radio too. I mean, like you get in there thinking you're doing a hip hop show, but like the person before you is playing deep reggae, and person after you is turning you on to like electronic production. It's like, it's rooted in some of the same stuff that you know about, but like, oh,
Yeah.
totally expands your mind. So at any rate, my appetite for music has always been and always will continue to be extremely diverse, but still got a lot of hip hop on the playlist, including new stuff. I'm not one of these
Yeah.
old cats that can't
No.
stand.
Right.
In fact, I think about that sometimes. There's like an era when I was much younger that I hate way more than I like, than I hate the stuff now. I mean, I like the stuff that's now better than a lot of stuff coming out 2005 to 2010, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's a great point too. And yeah, I definitely don't want to ever be caught saying that I don't like any
Nah.
of the new stuff. Yeah, because that back in the day was the new stuff, right? It's great to hear. And to me, it's clear that you are a big music fan, right? And so, but also, man, you got a separate life that's going on. You got your family, you got your work. So, man, I mean, as much music that you do and as much things that you got going on, what motivates you to still do music? How do you find inspiration to write music aside from the love? What makes you get up and still write, record, or produce music?
Well, I mean, I said a version of this like this before, but it's like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and
Yeah,
I bet you do too. And listen, and then early on in the podcast game, a lot of them were like comedians doing podcasts, talking to each other. And I just remember this thing that would come through in a lot of their conversations. It resonates with me a lot. Is it like comedians just do comedy because it's like what they do? Like it's not even a question. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about
yeah,
music. It's like I'm not doing it, especially at this point in my life. I'm not doing it like trying to like build up to something. I'm
yeah,
trying to build like a catalog of expression that I think represents me well. And that's kind of like the drive.
yeah.
But like it's just that's what I do. And I love doing it.
I
And
like
it's like
that.
it's a hobby, it's my community, it's the way that's my creative practice. It's how I kind of put energy towards something that I can get better at. That's why I do it. So that's what
I
drives
like
me
it.
on that front. I'm not looking, and it's a good thing but I'm not looking for like attention or money because
Yeah.
good thing because that ain't happening. And
Hey,
it's like you gotta do it for the love. And I mean that truly. Like that is why I do it.
I agree. You just find the time to do it. You don't think about it anymore. It's just part of your daily routine. Today, I'm going to make.
Absolutely.
So I like that. Hey, for someone who is not familiar with your music, how would you describe your sound to someone?
I
A
think
couple.
how would I describe the sounds? I think diverse is a good word for it. I think
Yeah.
rooted in the ethos, though. When I say hip hop, it's like I think that the music itself is rooted in the ethos of hip hop production. Like I approach even music that I make where I'm singing, even music I make where I'm collaborating with lots of other people. We're making like essentially a rock song, whatever it is. I
Yeah.
always I always produce it. I feel like that's something I learned fundamentally early on. Is that it's like the producer's role in music is like one that I think is like it just it's super fun to kind of come in and make the thing build it up, make it happen, to bring in the right people. Anyway, so I feel like the music is really rooted in the ethos of the producer, which I learned from studying and just being a fan of hip hop producers early on. It's so funny. I think like how over the different eras, like like hip hop became like the group, and then you would always know who the DJ or the producer was, and then it was just really just like the rapper was the center, and now it's kind of changing a little bit again. But like to me, that was always who I listened to music for, was like who was the producer on this, like who was the person that's actually like made the beat, or who had the taste that came in and brought the things together. So at any rate, kind of long-winded way of saying it, but
Oh,
that's how I feel.
hey, that's great, man. Well, hey, you talked a lot about some of the projects that you have coming up, but I do want to talk about one in particular where you're doing something with the dude by the name P minus a ATAC. Yeah, I'd love to talk about just P minus's work and how you guys got together to come up with an
Definitely.
idea for a compilation. Can you tell me the origin of that idea?
Yeah, so I'll start by saying that P minus, for
Yeah.
those who do not know, we talked a minute ago just about that kind of like message board tape trading culture of the mid to late 90s. To me, he was instrumental in kind of like
Yeah,
starting that, but also getting music that I made to out to other people, and music
sure
that I would
was.
never have had access to before, out to me, because he ran this mail order catalog,
Yeah.
and an
Very
accompanying message
important.
board. That was ATAC, and that's where I became familiar with cats like Living Legends, and
Yeah.
I knew obviously Dell and Souls and that kind of stuff, but I didn't know the deeper Hyro stuff that was coming through until I got some of those tapes through ATAC. Not to mention some of the cats you were talking about. Like I remember getting a Meg Abusive tape. I remember getting tapes from dudes in Europe. Like just anyone could kind of like, it was an early, they're called a platform, like in the sense that it was a technology platform because it was very analog, but it was a platform for distributing,
Yeah.
underground and extremely different types of hip hop music out to folks. At any rate, man, I met him through that, and we've been
Yeah.
friends throughout the years.
Awesome.
Reconnected on some shit a couple years ago, just
Okay.
like, he put out a record a couple years ago that I did some stuff on. And out of that came this idea for doing a project that he had the idea, but brought me in as the producer on it. So it's called Microphone Friends. We're almost wrapped up on it. It is blessed by three verses by Memphis Reigns. It
Oh
is
man, thank you for
it's
the
fun.
invite.
Oh, brother, it's like it's funny to have this conversation with you because I have these verses and some of your other music too, but these verses because I've been working on the production side of getting this record together. Like I hear them so many times. I hear your voice, and I feel like I have this sense to some small degree of like who you are, whatever, just from hearing them over and over and over. So it's really fun and interesting to have like a real conversation to hear that voice expanded into a conversation with me.
Oh,
At any rate,
absolutely.
man, so at any rate, that project is essentially a compilation where
Yeah.
every
Oh, wow.
song is named after a different Rakim song because he's one of our favorites, and just want
Yeah.
to do something like riffing on the Microphone Fiends theme, calling it Microphone Friends, bringing in
I
people
love
that
it.
we've loved throughout the years. Either one of us just inviting people to be a part, either as rappers or DJs. I'm making all the beats, dude. It's got some
Woo! It's got
absolute
some heat,
bangers on this
bro.
record. Dude,
Oh,
it is
holy
I
shit,
cannot
man.
wait for you to hear it. I cannot wait for you to hear it. You'll love it. I mean, I know
Damn.
and again, anyone listening or watching, man, your man Memp here, he kills it on the mic, and
Hey,
he's just
likewise,
like he's almost effortless with the flow. So
man.
and a
Thank
great
you.
dude to work with. So I
Uh,
appreciate that.
Hey, likewise too. It just, I mean, just the cast of people you bring together and the beats that you supplied. It's super exciting. It's hard not to be like, oh, when's it coming out? But
I know, I know.
I know, master. Yeah, hey, masterpiece needs some time to,
Well, it's
some time to marinate.
here's the real story on that, as I'm sure you're familiar with. Is that not everyone not everyone is prompt with the turnaround as you are. So
No, it's all, no, it's all good.
when you bring
It's
in like 40 people
yeah.
to be contributors on a project, it's good slow going. But every
Oh,
single thing that's come through, dude, everyone is just killing it. So
I
at
love it.
any rate, man, more info on that soon. But that's something we're in the stages of wrapping up right now, and it's been a really fun one to work on.
Good. I definitely just wanted to highlight the project just because, man, it's
Appreciate
super
that.
exciting. Yeah, it's super dope. And just, you're an amazing dude, man. So great. I can't wait for that release. But with that, hey, thank you for just taking time with me just to go down memory lane to talk about your history, how you became who you are today, all the amazing work that you put out, and just the history and the people that you work with. And just, it's been an honor just to get to know you as a person, just outside of music collaborations. To me, that's more important, man. So,
Yeah, me too. That's how I
the
feel.
relationship afterwards, man. So I just never wanted to be transactional, and I like making good friends out of the people that I make music with. So you indeed,
Dude, you said it, man. That's exactly right. That's how I feel. That's what's been one of the best things about this from day one is just meeting really cool people who are creative and smart and interesting thinkers, funny, just the community aspect of making stuff and making music has been and meeting folks like you has just been such a joy. In this later part of my career of doing it. Like I
yeah.
almost can't believe our paths didn't cross earlier back in the
Oh,
day. I definitely remember seeing your stuff all the time.
yeah.
And I'm glad that this project brought us together and that we got to have a connection for sure.
Amen and well said, man. So yeah, have everybody just check out Erik Solo stuff and all the future things that are coming out. Just fucking dope MC, dope producer, and just a good
Thank you,
person.
bro.
Matters the most, man. But with that, I love to close my interview out just with some random questions, some lighthearted stuff. So
All
here's the
right.
first one. Hey, would you rather it be too hot or too cold?
Oh, too cold every time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the heat's no good, man. Some grouchy
And we're
people.
about to. I live in the East Bay, pretty far out of the East Bay. And it's about to get real hot this summer, so I'm bracing for it. My kids, they're swimmers, and so we spend a lot of time outside doing that, and it's a great thing. But man, it's about to get real hot out here.
All right. Hey, if they did a movie about Erik Solo, what celebrity would you want to play you in the movie?
Man, whichever celebrity. Well, when I was a kid, for a few reasons, I was just called Search quite a lot. So I feel like maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I'll play MC Search in the movie,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
but
that's dope.
I rocked the
I like that.
glasses, and there were not a lot of reference points for for dudes with my kind of look. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would I want to play me though? Man, who I want to play me be like I'm on this I'm feeling Walton Goggins right now and or Sam Rockwell, one of them two.
Yeah, I like it, man. All good responses. All right. Hey, what song instantly puts you in a good mood no matter what?
25 Miles by Edwin Starr. That's a
Okay.
jam, dude.
All right. Nice.
Walking, pretty much any Stevie Wonder too, man. Like
Yeah.
prime Stevie, which is also prime Stevie's like 20 years span. Like he just dropped hits after hits. So
Yeah.
those are the ones.
Signed, sealed, and delivered, man. I agree.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Exactly.
Okay. All right. Hey, favorite Bay Area slang word?
Uh, I'm just gonna go with hella. Honestly, I still
Yeah,
use
yeah,
it. I
hey,
feel like
dude. Yeah, it's universal now, but
yeah, and it's just yeah, it is. But it's like
that's
it
yeah.
hasn't faded from at least my
No,
vocabulary. It's still
I,
quite
I still
it's
say it
had
all the time.
enduring presence in the culture. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I had some Canadian cousins over here, and they were just like, "Oh, you guys do say hello a lot." It's like, yeah, it's still my vocabulary. Yeah. So yeah, great word. All right, best clothing line, or I should say, best hip hop clothing line from the '90s.
Cross colors for
Oh
sure. I mean,
yeah, all day.
you
Yeah,
know, I had a purple cross colors hat and matching like kind of long jean or down denim shorts. Probably ill advised for me to be wearing back then,
that
but man, I love that. I love that look. I love that look. I love
was
that
fun.
colorful look, the big denim. I love I think of like dancers and in the
Yeah.
background of the video rocking that kind of. I love that stuff. Anyways, that's me cross colors.
No, it's
What,
great. I think about
what
like
about you on
Tim's
that
and
one? I
stuff.
gotta know what you say on that one.
Woo, man. Cross colors. Let's see here. Maybe I did buy a lot of this brand called Carl Kanai. I don't know if you heard of that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for
It's
sure,
got the
man. For
buckle on
sure.
the shirt. I did like that. That was a little more on the expensive end, so I didn't have too
Yeah.
many, but I did want it. So yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That and some Maurice Malone. So
Nice, dude.
do you
Nice.
recall a store called Mr. Rags? You ever heard of that? From the '90s. It might have been
This
just in San
sounds
Francisco, but
familiar.
it was kind of like the store we used to go to at Ceremony Mall to buy.
Ceremony. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
to buy that clothing. So, okay, but
Okay.
cross colors, man. Good choice. All right, Erik Solo, his favorite food and why?
I gotta say San Diego burrito from one of the taco
Damn,
shops.
hell
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's I mean, I say over the years I didn't have we didn't really have this back then. Now they got it in San Diego, but until I got to San Francisco, I don't really think I had a banh mi, but that's my second, dude. It's
ooh,
like a
that is good. The Vietnamese
go
sandwiches.
through man, Little Saigon in San Francisco, a little stretch
Yeah.
on Larkin, dude. It's just like every one of those shops legit. So later in life, that's what I got real excited about. But San Diego burrito is always true to my heart.
Yeah. Now, is it the standard burrito? Or are you a California burrito fan with the fries in the middle?
The fried, yeah, nah, not for me. I feel
Okay,
like, yeah, I mean,
like
I'm not
oh
against it. Believe me,
yeah.
I'll have throw some French fries in the mix. It's all good. But no, I'm thinking about like that, just
OG
that, like
carne
that,
asada.
and just that, like
Yeah.
those little cups of like the red sauce is almost like dye. It's just like it's so red. I love that stuff.
Hey, great response, man. And my final question for you: if you could have a meal with anyone, past or present, dead or alive, who would it be?
Mm, that's just so corny, but I mean, I'm always, and he's not even my favorite rapper, but like, I mean, Tupac's most,
Yeah,
charismatic, and
yeah,
in his time, like, I was just like
yeah,
absolutely fascinated with that dude. So,
yeah,
and I feel like out of everyone ever who should have lived longer because of the stuff that he would have done, man,
yeah,
that's me. So I don't
yeah.
know. Might seem a little corny or cliche, but that's who I gotta say.
No, because I
And I
feel
do
the
love him as a
same way.
rapper. And I'm not saying I just
Yeah,
he's not my favorite, but like as a cultural icon and as like a clearly smart dude who
yeah,
clearly would have just like done some next level stuff, dude.
yeah.
He's a man.
No, 100% agree, and I feel the same way with Christopher Wallace too, as well. And so both
No, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, it didn't even peak, and they were already freaking peaking where they were at. So crazy.
I mean,
But
minutes before we were on this call, man, I was like looking at news and somehow both Diddy and Suge Knight's name are in a headline in 2025. And I'm like, man, how come we can't have Biggie and Tupac and not these two?
yeah, yeah, great point, man. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, well said on that response, man. I like that. Hey, so with that, thank you again. But yeah, I appreciate your time. Very important to me. Time is important. So for you to make time to do this, I am grateful. And
Oh
with that,
man, thank you.
yeah. Now I want to turn the floor over to you for any final words before we close this amazing interview.
Well, other than to say I appreciate you and your time and the effort you put into creating this and all the stuff that you do, man. That's a big part of it. But yeah, I also want to just mention two more projects that are coming out. One is with my man Tom C3. He's a amazing producer. He and I just wrapped up a project. And then I got one more almost done with it with my man Buddy P. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
yeah, we have records coming out. Two more of those collab projects and just keep an eye out for them. But no, my main thing is to say I appreciate you and I appreciate all the stuff you're putting together, including the music, the podcast, just all the moves you make. You have incredible energy. And one more thing on that front. Like
Yeah.
not only are you like someone I've like we've got to work together on just communicate on email, whatever. Like you are always, even on email, man, so respectful, so cool, man. You're just like, so I really I appreciate that about you. You're
Likewise.
just you got good energy, dude, and that's something that you should know about yourself.
No, well, I'm only returning the energy that I get, so that's on your end too. So I appreciate it. It makes me want to work with you more, right? So if the dude's a good person, man, I'm all about it. So yeah, give me some more of that energy.
Right on.
Okay. Well, hey, brother, I'll stay in touch, and I look forward to getting this thing out, man. I can't wait.
All right, thanks, bro. You have a good rest of your day.